This is our agenda, what we'll be going over today. What to expect as a parent, how will kindergarten change things in your household as a family, what types of programs exist in our area, what are the difference between neighborhood, choice, magnet, charter, and private schools, just to dive in a little deeper about the differences between each of these schools. What questions should I ask to the schools that you're interested in? And what should I be thinking about when choosing the program for my kinder? And what skills should we be practicing before kindergarten begins at home with your kindergarten?
What? Wait, who is that? Who is that, Mom?
First, we're just going to introduce ourselves. My name's Cassie Siebold. I am the current K-12 principal and gifted coordinator at Westgate. I've been in education for 17 years, taught 9 years of kindergarten at Westgate. Currently, my children have deserted me and went on to live their own lives, and it's very sad. And then Jenny.
Hi, I'm Jenny. I'm a kindergarten teacher here at Westgate and for the past 3 years. This is my 7th year overall and just a huge lover of teaching, but especially our kindergartners. So why are we doing this presentation? At Westgate, we believe that we have a commitment to their community, and we believe that all parents deserve this knowledge and should go into creating this really big, important decision with all the facts and just have all the information accessible to while making this big choice. We have a lot of questions from prospective kinder parents, and we want to make sure that they come in knowing what we do at Westgate, but also know what's available in our neighborhoods and around the Thornton area. We also have this commitment to giving not only just the information at Westgate, but all the choices there so that you can make this transition with knowing all the information that's available.
All right. So really what we want for all kinder parents to understand, and some of you may have older children, so you've already been through this, but we really believe that you and your family are the priority, and a lot of the things that you need to consider when choosing a kindergarten are about you and your family. They're not really about us so much. So you really need to think about who is your child, what are their specific needs, what are your wants for them. School ultimately is for you, it's for your child, and so we want for them to have the experience that they deserve and that's right for your family. Only you get to decide what's right for your family. There are a lot of social media and internet pages out there, and that's not always the most reliable information. So going to the source is always the best choice. We encourage everyone to tour all of the schools that you're interested in so that you can make the most informed choice for your family. And we want everyone to have the right questions and be able to ask the right questions so that you really know what you're getting into when you're sending your child to kindergarten. I had kindergartners once, a long time ago, and I will tell you it very much does change things in your home. If you don't have older children and you haven't been through this before, it does change things. Your time changes, the time that you have available to be together changes, your schedule changes. Everybody's trying to balance work and taking care of your children, and that balance gets off a little bit, and you have to figure out new strategies for getting everybody where they need to be, when they need to be there, dealing with them being really tired when they come home, especially at the beginning. Homework, if there is homework, after school clubs or activities. Sometimes people need before care options. So all of those things are things that you have to think about and things that change your life. Your kids will come home and have really interesting stories about the day. So your dinner conversations will change. They're processing a lot of new information. So they're trying to go through that with you. And they're also really tired from processing all of that information and learning all of those new things. There's a lot of new social changes for them too. They're having to share a space and they're having to share lots of things. And they're having to sometimes just for the first time learn how to do that. So all of those things change your life and how you interact with your child.
Yeah, so diving into what are the options when speaking about kindergarten, we're going to talk about um, what's available. And so some of this might be your neighborhood choice, magnet schools, charter schools, homeschools, private schools, and then kindergarten and a private preschool. And so in the upcoming slides, we're just going to dive in a little deeper of what are those differences and what questions you might be having when making those choices of which school to choose when applying for a kindergarten.
The first choice is a magnet school. Magnet schools are public schools. They're part of the district, but they offer a specialized program. So Adams 12, which is the district that we are a part of, has 4 different magnet schools. The Studio School is an art-based school. There are 2 STEM schools. And then there's also Holstrom, which is their gifted magnet. And they all have different application processes that we'll talk about later. Charter schools, which is what we are a public charter school. We are part of Adams 12, but there are also charter schools that are part of CSI or the Charter School Institute, which are not part of a district in a neighborhood. Adams 12 charters include us, Prospect Ridge Academy, Stargate School, and New America School. But there are some other charters nearby that are owned or run by CSI, and those are the Pinnacle, the Academy, and Global Village, which is a language immersion school. They have a pretty cool model.
And another option is online or homeschooling. Some questions that you might be wondering is if I just start homeschooling, I can take my kiddo and just go for it at home. However, you do need to register with an online school through Adams 12 5-star or with a different homeschooling operation, for example, Connections Academy. There are some hybrid options similar to what we saw during COVID. That maybe it'll be partially online and then partially in school. There are some also home-based learning. And with that, you do need to file a letter of intent to the district. And then there's some options for homeschool groups and meetups where it's a similar model with hybrid where you can partially meet with a group of students and then partially meet or do homeschool home-based learning. And then another option is private schools. Private schools do have a tuition. There are some financial aid opportunities, so make sure to check out the private schools that are around us and see what financial aid opportunities there are. There is a unique application and admission process. They are not a part of the school district. They can be religious-based schools. Some independent private schools that are around us are Hope Montessori, Eastlake Montessori, Primrose, and the Goddard School. These are preschools. And then there's also Dawson School.
Right. This is just a little bit about enrollment. If you have more questions about enrollment, Rochelle can help you with those questions later. But the neighborhood schools register through Infinite Campus with Adams 12. Lottery results happen actually tomorrow for Adams 12. The magnet schools and charter schools, you do have to submit an application and receive a seat offer. Those seat offers come out also on February 7th, which is tomorrow, if you've already applied. Once you receive that seat offer, you have to choose to accept that offer and then you are enrolled. Private schools have their own application, their own seat offer process. You would still have to accept an offer with them and then enroll, but you would have to do that through each of those private schools. There also is the option in Adams 12 to choice in to another neighborhood school, not a charter or a magnet, but just another school in the district. And you do have to apply for choice. The deadlines for applying for choice in the first round has passed. That was on January 31st. The second round of applications needs to be in by March 31st, and the last round opens in April and ends in August. It's best to get those choice applications in that first round. You have the best chance of getting in that situation. After you accept a seat at a school, a charter in particular, you can accept only one seat. So if you did get into your neighborhood school or another school in the district, if you did get accepted or offered a seat at a magnet and you were offered a seat at a charter, you have to choose only one of those seats to accept. You can't accept them all and then decide later. You have to choose within 5 days which seat you're going to accept. In that situation, then you would let your school that you've accepted the offer at know if your child has an IEP for special education or a 504 plan or even an ALP so that they're able to prepare for the student coming in. Some schools don't communicate with you other than to say they're offering you a seat and then you say, we'll take it. And then you don't really hear from them until the summer. And that's really just because we're very busy trying to finish up the current school year. It's totally normal if you haven't heard from them. But some schools do send out parent newsletters for new parents coming in. And so you may hear something, but don't be surprised if you don't.
All right, moving on to what questions should we be asking at a school? So you're curious about which school to choose from. Here are some questions you could ask to make this big choice easier. So what programs do you offer that serve all children? What does every student get here? What makes your school unique? How do academics help all children grow? And how do you meet the individual needs of each learner? What does school or family partnership look and feel like? And how will your school support the social emotional growth of children? How will you respond if the school cannot answer in a tangible way? And then just beware of buzzwords, SEL, whole child, homework, and STEM. SEL is social emotional learning. Whole child, we believe at Westgate you should be teaching the whole child. So what does that mean to the school? For at Westgate, we believe that each student comes with their own background and own experiences and are already ready to get to learning at different levels. So what does that mean at different schools? What does homework look like? Is it a whole packet every single night? Is it a whole packet each week? Are we going to be spending 10 minutes of homework for each grade level, or does that increase for the depending on the grade that they're at? What does STEM look like in the classroom or outside of the classroom? Are there other opportunities to work in STEM than just in the class? At Westgate, we have our own specials course, iLab, where students get to practice their own engineering and creativity within not just within the classroom. So just some ideas to consider when talking to other schools. And then just speaking about Westgate, so our social emotional learning curriculum is Little Spots of Feelings. Please feel free to check out the QR code that's on the slide here. And that's all the songs that are available through our social emotional learning curriculum. They're a blast. But the idea behind Little Spot of Feelings is to give our students coping skills or tools when they are having big emotions that are tangible and recognizable at that age. And so you can see in this picture that our students are using some play equipment. We believe that purposeful play is a great way to demonstrate going through those coping skills. So how do I practice um, some of these tools when I'm feeling angry, when I'm feeling anxious, um, or frustrated? They're very real emotions, as I'm sure you know, with your kinder, and we're just exploring how we can feel those feelings and then eventually let them go and go into other emotions. And then, as I said it previously, purposeful play should be a huge part of any kindergarten classroom. So this is something that you should 100% talk to in your kinder or on your kindergarten journey. What does purposeful play look like in the class, and how is it a part of the everyday classroom experience? And so whether that is dressing up as the profession that they want to be, whether that's a nurse or a doctor, making um, butter in the classroom. That's the top left picture. Creating bird feeders for our service learning project, exploring the garden that we grew, or making musical instruments, drums. It should be a part of a tangible part of their learning experience. And then once again, like balancing or building off of that purposeful play, how are they learning in the classroom? Is it they are expected to sit for up to an hour working on a worksheet each day? Asking those questions can be a huge deterrent or a huge reason to go towards that school, because kinders, your kindergarten better than anyone else. However, we know that sitting in one seat or sitting at a spot for 10 more than 10 minutes at a time is not a useful way to learn. And so what are the options there? Here's just some examples of ways that students can have hands-on learning in the classroom, whether that is through blocks, dominoes, building words, through Play-Doh or stamps, playing games. Those are all options to create an inquisitive and critical thinking or growing mind while in the classroom without necessarily having worksheets. And then setting my child up for school success. Like I said previously, this doesn't mean necessarily sitting on the carpet or at a chair for an hour. We would love for students to practice that skill of 10 minutes at a time. Follow two-step directions. Can you grab a marker and then go to your seat? Can you grab a cup and then go to the dinner table? Some just, simple step directions that could prepare them for their time at kindergarten. Some emerging fine motor and writing skills, including pencil grip. Are they holding it like a spear? Are they holding it with their fingers? Left to right orientation, opening a book with them right before bedtime or during your routine, recognizing and writing their own name, emerging alphabet and number sense skills. So have they seen alphabets? Have they seen print? Have they seen numbers? Or have they counted up to 5 or helped you when they're setting the place or setting the table, counted the number of plates that are on the table? Separate from a parent without getting overly upset. Leaving a parent is always going to be a challenge, and we want to be there for them and process that through them. And we also know we don't want this to be a time where it's traumatic for them, where it's the first time that they're leaving their parent. So just practicing saying goodbye or giving them coping skills for them to prepare to move into the classroom. Managing big emotions like losing a game. What does that look like for them? Modeling what does that look like for them? using words to express needs and wants. This just means, there for the first day, their teacher might not be accustomed to them, or they might not be accustomed to their teacher. So the teacher might not always know does it need or look like when the kiddo needs to go to the bathroom. So advocating for themselves and saying, hey, I need to go to the restroom, or I need a tissue, or I need a Band-Aid. All of that is great, um, because we won't know your kiddo as well as you know your kiddo. Developing early social skills like sharing or listening or navigating conflict. What does that look like when there's a conversation? What does it look like when I am listening to someone? How does it look like when I want to use something that someone else is using, or when somebody has something that I want, should I just grab it? Just some awesome basic skills to practice before going into our kindergarten classroom. And then lastly, this is a shared community space. So remember that we are in charge of cleaning up our own supplies, and that not necessarily anybody else is going to be doing it for us. And then having a flexible mindset when things don't necessarily go the way that I want to. What can I do differently, or what could I say in that situation when I would like things to go my way?
Good skills.
And then oh yeah, sorry, you go. I've been talking a long time.
You've been talking a lot. These are just some of the independent skills that we find help students be more successful when they start kindergarten. Of course, you should be practicing zipping a jacket or putting on their own hat and gloves. A kindergarten teacher does their very best, but if you're doing it for 18 students before recess every day, that is really difficult. So it's helpful if kids know how to do those things, beginning to learn to tie their own shoes, things like that. They should be toilet trained. They should be able to wipe themselves. We can't go to the bathroom with them or any of those things. They will have to change themselves if there is an accident at school. So they should be practicing putting on their own clothes and all of those kinds of things as well. They are going to have to be part of car line, whether it's our school or any other school. So that means getting in and out of the car seat, buckling and unbuckling on their own, getting in and out of the door, being able to open and close the door on their own. And also the all important being able to say goodbye, bye mom, bye dad, really quickly, and then sort of move out of the line of traffic should also be something that they have access to. Having safe hands and bodies, of course, all 5-year-olds are still learning what's appropriate and what's not, but it should be modeled for them before they get to kindergarten, so they have some idea what that looks like. And then sitting on the carpet, ready to listen. You can work on that at home by just sitting with them to play a game for 5 minutes, maybe having them sit and do a task for 5 minutes, and then just sort of build up. Like Jenny said, about 10 minutes is kind of what we try to keep it to in kinder, because they don't have an attention span much longer than that. So, but if they can sit there and listen to instructions or attend to a task for up to 10 minutes, that's a great skill to have. Opening their own lunchbox, opening their own snacks and the containers that they come in, opening their own water bottle, and filling that up on your own. We open water bottles all the time, dozens of times a day, but they should be able to, fill that water bottle at the sink on their own, and then ask for help if they need help with actually opening and closing it, and then be in the process of learning that skill. They should also be able to eat within a snack or a lunch period. They have a couple of snacks a day at Westgate and a lunch period in the middle. And the longest that they're going to have is about 30 minutes. So if you're 5-year-old still takes 60 minutes to eat. That's going to be a struggle at the beginning, and you know, we'll work through all of that, but we want for them to be able to be focused on their food and get through that in the allotted amount of time. They also need to be able to carry their own items. If they're going to get out of the car in the morning and come into school, they're going to have to be able to carry all of the things that they need to take into school. They're going to have to get used to not napping. There are no naps in kindergarten anymore. I remember that I got to nap in kindergarten, but it's not a thing anymore. There are no naps. Therefore, they will be very tired when they come home. So you can start practicing that at home now, having them try to get through the day without a nap and without a meltdown. Good luck. How to ask for help. Like Jenny was talking about in the last slide, being able to advocate for themselves, being able to say, I need to go to the bathroom, or I need help opening my bottle, or I don't understand how to do this math, things like that. Being able to say, you know, I want that thing that friend has and it's not working out. Can you help me? And then also those skills of cleaning up after themselves that Jenny also mentioned on the other slide. At Westgate, we do not have a cafeteria. We eat lunches in the classroom. And so it's really important that students recognize that they have to clean up after themselves when they're doing work, but also when they're eating snacks or lunch in the classroom as well. So practicing all of those things at home before you get to kindergarten. So that is our presentation for you. If you have questions, I can't see the chat from the screen that I'm on, but Rochelle's going to help us out if there are some questions that we can answer. If there are bigger questions about the school, the schedule, any of those things that are not directly related to kindergarten, then you're welcome to email Rochelle or give Rochelle a call at the school, and she can set you up to go on a tour and hear all of those things while you're touring our school.
And I would love to show you around if you haven't been yet. The tours do take about an hour to go through the school, and we start in kindergarten and actually move all the way through high school. So you kind of see what, you know, like the big picture is. And it's also important to see what our high school looks like, just because we do actually have like peer mentoring programs and buddy advocacies and things like that. So I definitely would love to show you guys if you haven't seen it. And we also have a recording to our parent information night that we hosted, that's Westgate specific, back in December. And so I can always send that to you guys as well. So I'm going to put my email. It's just Westgate School, or I'm sorry, enrollment@westgateschool.org. And shoot me an email and I can set you up with all the things.
I see some people are typing some questions, so just give us 1 minute. Take your time typing. If we submitted an application in round 2 for choice, we won't know until April that we've been given a seat. So if we accept our seat at Westgate yet decide to change late, what does that look like? Really, any school. So if you do, you know, choice, and you don't, and a charter, any of the charters, and you get into your choice school, but you're weight pooled at a charter too, and then later get a seat. Rochelle, what does that look like?
Yeah, so all of us registrars are on the same page, and we just ask that you keep us posted. And so like for us, the students that are going to be, you know, they'll be offered seats, and then we'll have students in weight pools also. You know, it's a constant moving, crazy thing during enrollment season. And so as people accept or decline on our end, the system will continually send out seat offers. So yeah, just, you know, if you decide to accept our seat and then, you know, maybe you change your mind or something, just let me know so I can update things on my end, and vice versa. The other schools would want to let them want you to let them know that you changed your mind and you're coming over here. So.
And Rochelle, what are the school hours for kinder? And is there an after school program?
Yeah, so for our school, we actually do have the bell schedule posted on the website as well. But for everyone, you can drop off as early as 7:40. We have supervision outside. First period starts at 8. Everybody gets out at 3:30 and then just need to be picked up by 3:45. And we do have before and after care. We contract with Champions for our care. And so that is a little bit different than Adams 12 base programming. So you'd want to work with whatever specific school that you guys have in mind for that kind of stuff, and they can give you more specifics for their programs.
Also for me, when I was looking at kindergartens, my little one is in 3rd grade now. Some schools had a lottery for before and after care programs. Westgate does not. Anybody who registers for before and after care can take their child before or after school once they sign up for the date. But always ask, because that was something my family needed. If my son was going to go to a school other than Westgate, you know, I needed for him to be in aftercare so that I could finish up work and then go get him. So a lottery for that. My question always was, well, what if I don't get in? I really can't go to this school then. So always find out about that if that's a need for your family.
And I've heard stories that if you get into the program during the school year, that doesn't guarantee a spot in the summer program too. So make sure you check all of those things out.
I don't see any more coming in.
Nope.
Oh, I spoke too soon. Also, again, we will send this out. If you have questions but you don't want to ask, like in the public arena, please email enrollment@westgateschool.org. And please repeat the name of the after school program.
Yeah, Champions. Yeah.
It's
and there is a link.
Yeah, and it's
from,
KinderCare is the parent program. Thank you,
yes,
Cassie, for putting in that link.
And we do, there is a link to Champions on our website if you ever need it in the future. And I can always send it out too. Awesome.
All right. Thank you everyone for being here. We hope this helped you on your journey. It's such a big choice for families, and it's a wonderful time for you. So enjoy it. As much as it is nerve-wracking, you will make the right choice for your child. You know them, and congratulations, they're about to start kindergarten. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.